Okay, good morning everyone. This is Servium calling. Welcome to the next in our series of INOOT webinars. I need one of those. My name is Steve Dawes. I'm your host today, so welcome. Hopefully everyone who's registered early, you've got your crunchies. So it's Friday, it's 10 o'clock. Relax, put your feet up and enjoy our webinar. This is the last in season 2, so it's the season finale. We're using Zoom as usual as a platform to deliver this. The whole purpose of our webinars is to basically give you latest information, allow you to make informed decisions around what we believe is groundbreaking disruptive technology. We'll be taking a poll at the end and also questions and answers. The video will be recorded as well, which we'll be sharing with you, and you can share with your colleagues, also published on our YouTube channel. So today it's very much in partnership with Dell EMC. We're looking at their mid-range storage to help customers with challenges around speed, efficiency, and helping the multi-cloud world. So I'm kindly joined by Nick Eastwell. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Steve. Morning, everyone.
Thanks for taking the time out to join us today, Nick. And as usual, we've got some slides to present, but again, putting Nick on the spot, we've got another live demo, haven't we, Nick? So no pressure at all. So for me, 6th of December, let's have a look back in history as we always do. So 1962, Sean Connery, James Bond fame, at age 32, was wed to Diane Cliento in Gibraltar. A seasonal one here, 1964, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was first aired on television. 77, Andrew Flintoff, the English cricketer, was born. In 1983, there was history made from a medical point of view. The first heart transplant was successfully completed in Britain. 1990, Saddam Hussein released a load of foreign hostages. And the political one, 2005, David Cameron became the new Tory leader. So that's the 6th of December. More importantly to us here at Servium, it's INOOT Day, so welcome again. So let's just have a little bit of background on Servium, just for the benefit of people who've not joined before, just to set the scene. So we are a business all about putting you, our customers, at the center of everything we do. What is your challenge? What are you trying to achieve? Becoming your troubleshooter, walking in your shoes. We do that by creating a lot of value with great account management, superb customer service, challenging business issues, and we're very much straight talking, practical, to help you make those decisions. Our approach very much, when you look at our Servium Pathfinder, is helping you on the complete life cycle of a project. Project being, no matter how small or large, working with you throughout the life cycle. However, the key thing to us really is the review stage. Once we've delivered a project, has it been successful? Has it been on time? Has it been within budget? And has it met your expectations? And we deliver this primarily through our partners, like Nick today is our subject matter expert around Dell EMC, through our partners, our services ecosystem, which is one of the best in the industry, if not the best, with tremendous breadth, depth, scale. For me, the transparency is absolutely key. We tell you who we're working with and why. And partnering in the industry is not unique, but our transparency is absolutely key. So we've got a whole host of subject matter experts, technical skills that we can bring to the table to help you as our customers. So we have done a previous INOOT webinar on our services ecosystem. I'd highly recommend having a look at that on our YouTube channel. So today, it's all about storage, the Unity XT platform, which very much is all about physical, virtual, cloud, but also focused on compute, data, and networking. So, Nick, the show is yours. Good luck with the demo, sir. Fingers crossed on that. It has gone well in rehearsal. So I'll pass the floor over to Nick.
Thanks, Steve. Morning, everyone. As Steve said, so we're looking at the Unity XT series today. So what I plan to do is I'm going to run through a few slides, just give you a bit of an overview. show you some of the features of the XT, and then we'll jump into a quick demo just to give you a flavour of the user interface and show you a couple of the things that we can do in the XT storage array. Okay, so we move on. Could you move that on for me, Steve? Doesn't seem to be. Okay, so Dell EMC Unity XT, it's the latest iteration of the Unity series storage array. It is a fully unified box, so it supports block, file, it also supports Feeble. The new series of XT come with some enhancements and some improvements, especially around performance and also software features. From the point of view of performance, they're up to 2 times faster than previous models. They also are NVMe ready, and by that I mean that there is a possibility to put up to 8 NVMe drives into the base unit. Having said it's NVMe ready, that means that at the moment it's not possible to do that, but that is coming, and it will become out via a code upgrade, which will be free and non-disruptive, and it's going to be available in the very near future, potentially in the next release of the software. Excuse me. From efficiency point of view, these units can get up to 5:1 data reduction. They can give you 85% system efficiency. They are built for the cloud, so they integrate with the cloud. They integrate with the main cloud providers, so Azure, AWS, Google. You've got Dell Technologies Cloud Platform. The XT is also available in the cloud, so there is a cloud appliance, so you can run it from within the cloud. We also have a cloud tiering functionality, so you can stub files on the box and you can push them out to your cloud choice. So as long as it's supported, as I say, all the big names are supported. And we also have the Unity XT is the first storage array to be validated with VMware VCF. So you can actually present storage out to VCF from the XT, which is very good. XT units also feature under the Future-Proof Loyalty program. This is the program that gives you all sorts of benefits, some of which are satisfaction guarantees for data reduction, so they'll guarantee a certain amount of data reduction on your box around the flash units. They offer hardware investment protection, so there's a trade-in program, and that's for both Dell hardware and non-Dell hardware. They also offer clear and transparent support pricing, so that means that you can actually lock in support pricing over a 5-year period, so that you know exactly what you're going to be paying against that box in the future. So there's all sorts of good things that come with Unity. It is an updated box, and it is a lot faster, and there's a lot more features with it. Okay, so the XT family has 4 models for flash, for all flash, and 4 models for hybrid. The all flash models are the 380F, 480F, the 680F, and the 880F. The hybrid models are the 380, 480, 680, and 880. One thing to note about the 380 models is that they do not and they will not support NVMe. So if you require NVMe in the future, that functionality, then you have to look at the 480 up. Also, the 380 models are single socket, 480 upwards are all dual sockets. All of the boxes have increased memory, and the drive count has now gone up to a maximum of 500 in the 380, right up to 1,500 drives in the 880. So very scalable, and all of the units across the family do come with all-inclusive software, so that's a bonus as well. Okay, going back to the improvements on the box, so they've vastly improved the efficiency of these boxes. So things like inline deduplication and compression have been improved. As I said, it's possible to get up to 5:1 data reduction on the box. The Future-Proof Loyalty program will actually guarantee 3:1 for all flash arrays. So you also get 85% system usable capacity on there. And all that means that you actually get a reduced storage footprint. So along with that, you get associated cost savings, things like data center footprint, power and cooling, etc. So there's a lot of good things around the efficiency that are happening, and they're enabling you to save money. One interesting fact as well is the efficiency actually now allows you to get up to 790 terabytes per rack queue within the XT. So that's a lot of storage in a small footprint. You can move on. Okay, I wanted to show you this slide quickly, just to show you what sort of features you get with the box. As I mentioned, you get all-inclusive software. Okay, but what is that? Well, there's a lot of features available on the box. I'm not going to go through all of them here. We'll just point a couple out. You get the cloud-based storage analytics, which is an application called Cloud IQ, and we'll have a little look at that later. Things like the central management, so you can manage multiple arrays. They now have dynamic pools, which effectively means you don't need dedicated hot spare drives anymore. What happens is they will take a percentage of each disk and reserve that for disk rebuilds. This means that rebuilds, the rebuild time on the array is a lot faster, so that's massively improved. Other things you get the standard replication, your snapshots, your clones, things like data at rest encryption, multi-tenancy, and the list goes on. So that all-inclusive software gives you a lot of features on the box, so it's very versatile and very scalable. Okay, so from the point of view of management, it's HTML5 user interface. The on-array user interface is called Unisphere. It's very clean, it's intuitive, easy to use, and there is also a centralized user interface, and that is called Unisphere Central. And with that, you can manage up to 1,000 arrays, so it is very useful if you've got a large estate. That is downloadable, it's free of charge, so all you have to do, log onto the website, download it, and install it on one of your servers. It also supports VMware, Hyper-V, support for API access, and also browser scripting. So everything you'd expect from a well-written user interface. Okay, just before we jump into the demo, I wanted to mention Cloud IQ. So Cloud IQ is a free cloud-based application. And what it does, it allows you to monitor, troubleshoot, and analyze your infrastructure. It also supports, other than storage arrays, it will support VMware. So there's an OVA file that you can download free of charge, import that into vCenter, and then you can start pushing information back to our Cloud IQ from your vCenter. It also supports Connectrix switches, and it does have API integration. What it does, it'll give you things like performance anomalies, it'll show you workload performance, capacity forecasting, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's really nice in there, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. From the point of view of configuring and installing, there's no software to install on a Unity XT. To link it up with Cloud IQ, it's effectively a tick in a box and enter some support credentials, and that's as much as you need to do. There's a web portal that you log on, and you just use your support credentials to get in there. Once your arrays are connected, you can see all the information that's coming in for those arrays. The other nice feature of Cloud IQ is that it is available on mobile devices, so you can go to the App Store or the Play Store, and you can download a free app, and you can actually monitor your estates on your mobile devices as well. So that's a really nice feature, and as I say, we'll take a look at that shortly. So a very quick kind of overview of some of the features of the XT. What we'll do now is we'll jump in and we'll have a quick demo just to get a feeling of the user interface and show you some of the features in the array.
Okay, Nick, so I'll stop sharing now, and yeah, ready for you to share your demo screen.
There we go. Hopefully you can see that.
That's all there, Nick. Thanks.
Great. Okay, so let me just log in. Okay, so the Unisphere landing page, once you log in, is the dashboard. And what that'll do is just to give you kind of a very quick high-level view of how your array is performing and how it's configured. So we can see things like the system capacity, free space, use space, all of that nice information, efficiency savings, tiering. If you've got multiple tiers, you can see information about that. You've even got a performance graph, which is interactive, so you can see some information there. Now, all of these tiles, they can be removed if you don't want to see all of them. You can move them around, and what you can actually do if you want to, you can create multiple dashboards. So if I wanted to create another dashboard, I could do that, and I could add in relevant tiles. So there we go. And if I wanted to, if I decided actually no, I don't want that, I can then go back and I can remove that. Okay, so that's just a very high level view, and that's a landing page for Unisphere. What I want to show you is there's a really nice view of the system enclosures. Okay, so this is the back of our data processing enclosure, which is our base unit, and I can see that I've got a number of ports in there. They're showing green. That means that they're in use and they're up and running. If I want to, I can click on that and I can get some information about those ports. As with any of the hardware on the back there, I can get information about that. If there's any issues, these items will be highlighted in red, so I can very quickly see where the issue is. If it's the part that needs replacing, I can see that which part needs replacing. We also have a view of the front, so I can see all the drives that I have in the box. Any of those drives fail, I'll be able to see there'll be a red line around it, so I can see exactly which drive the issue is with. If I want to, I can click on individual drives and get information about that. If I had more disk trays attached to this, then I would see those in a list down here, and I'll be able to click on those and see exactly the same type of information for each of those trays. So that's quite a nice feature to see information about what you've got in your array. From a performance point of view, user interface will give you loads of information. So in the performance dashboard, we have a section for historical charts, and what you can do is you can tailor that from anything from 1 hour up to, you can customize it. So by default, you've got a bunch of options there up to 90 days, and you can either say you can customize that. So there's a load of information that's available, things like CPU, I/O, bandwidth. Okay, all of these graphs are interactive. So if I want to see information about both SPs, I can select that. If I only want to see information about one SP, I can do that. Hover over the graph and it will show you the information at that point in time. You can also export any of that information. So if you want to make use of it with any of your reporting tools, then you can take it out of the system and do that. We also have real-time charts, but also what we can do is we can create tailored dashboards. So if I wanted to create a dashboard, say I've got a workload, maybe a file system that I've just created, and I'm pushing a workload to it, and I want to just monitor that on its own for a period of time, then I can create a new dashboard. I can say, actually, I'm going to do a real-time chart, and then I can select, there we go, once created, I can select to add charts, and there's a whole load of charts that you can add. So if we have a look down here, so all of these are different things that you can add for charts. So I'm going to just go to File System, select some bandwidth and select a file system. So if this was a new file system I created, I could add that chart and I could monitor it. And that will update roughly every 5 seconds. Now, at the moment, I don't have any data going across that file system, so it's flatline, but if I was to start applying loads to that now, I would see in real time what's happening on that file system. So that's a nice function that you can make use of. As I mentioned before, this is a unified storage array, so I wanted to just quickly show you how easy it is to present storage out of the array. And if I want to create a LUN for block, simply go into block storage, choose add a LUN. I'm going to add a single LUN here, give it a name. Okay, we'll just make that 20 gig. Okay, I can add data reduction to my LUNs. If I wanted to, I could set up host I/O limits and I can apply that to LUNs. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to add a host, so I'm going to give a host access to this LUN. That's my host I want to give access. Okay, if I wanted to enable snapshots, I'm not going to do that. Likewise, a replication, I could enable that, but this test, so this demo, I'm not going to. Check my summary, happy with that. Finish, and that's going to take probably about 30 seconds or so to create that LUN and present it out to my server. So if I close that dialog, I can still see the jobs running here, and I also get a notification of any jobs running up here as well. So it looks like that LUN has now been created. Okay, and that is now available for my server. So I've created and presented out a LUN. If I go to that server, rescan the adapter, that LUN will be available for use. The other side of the storage is the file storage, and what we can do on the array is to create what we call NAS servers, so it's effectively like a virtual machine, and we can then add a file system and share to that and present that out. So that's very quick to do as well. I'll just show you how you do that. Okay, so give the server a name. I'm going to give it an IP address. Okay, IP address. I'm going to share it out as a Windows share. I could, if I wanted, add it to Active Directory, but for the demo, I'm just going to do a standalone server. Okay, add a password to it. Again, we get the option to add replication and summary, happy with that. Again, another 20 seconds and that'll be created. There we go, so that's my server created. Now what I need to do is to add a file system to it. Test file system, so I'll give the file system a name. Okay, I'm not going to do any file level retention, but that's a feature that we can enable and use there. Okay, I can add data reduction at this point. I can choose whether I want that to be advanced, to use the advanced deduplication as well. Okay, I'm going to create a share. Okay, go with the default settings. Don't want to create snapshots or replication. And we're done. So once that completes, we'll be able to connect to that test NAS server, and we'll be able to see that there is a share there. So we'll just give that a few seconds to complete. So if I close that down, I can see that the job's still running here. So the other option we have as well under storage while that's running is for VMware. And you can create VMware data stores. Now, that's pretty much the same as what we did for the block LUN that we shared out. So it's very quick to do, very easy. You go through it effectively, give it a name, add some configuration, and then rescan your VMware server, and you're good to go. Okay, so we just give that a few more seconds, and that will complete. As I said, if we want to, we can go and have a look at. We've got an active job running here. Okay, so that's now 94%. So my jobs list, there you go, it's actually completed now. So if we jump back into the file, okay, so we can see we've got a share there. So if we now go to okay, so what we've done there is we've presented a file share out off of the Unity array. So this is purely on the Unity array. So that's how quick it is to do block and file sharing from the system. A couple more things I want to show you just very quickly. So I'm conscious of time. The support page within Unity is a really nice page because it gives you access to a whole load of stuff. You have support forums. You've got links there to go to the forums. You can download documentation. There's a really nice learning function here where you can go to online training, how-to videos. That's really good if you're stuck, if you're trying to do something that you don't know how to do. Knowledge base, there's even information on replacing parts and instructions how to do that, and even links to the Dell store. So that's a really nice landing page for any support issues. So the last thing I want to show you is the Cloud IQ that I mentioned in the slides. From within Unity, we can access the Cloud IQ portal. So this box has been set up already to push data up to Cloud IQ. And as Cloud IQ in itself, it is quite an involved application. There's a lot that you can do with it. I could do a demo on that itself, but I just want to give you a quick flavor today of what it shows you and what it does. So I'm going to jump into the system health page. And on here, we have a number of systems that are linked back to Cloud IQ, different systems. We've got things like PowerMax, we've got 480s, we've got some 300s in here, we've even got some switching in here, I think. What you'll see here is the different colors. The gray one here means basically this is lost connections. That's something we need to investigate. Green means it's running as we would expect. Red means that you need to look at something fairly quickly. And I haven't actually got any yellow in there, but if we had yellow, it basically means that we've got some issues that may need looking at. It could be things like storage filling up and various things like that. So what we'll do is also have a look at the capacity. So there's a really nice capacity page which will give us an overview of our systems. So these are all of our systems. We can very quickly see how much storage we've used, what the status of that. And if I dive into one of the systems, I can show you that it starts to break down your storage and how it's used. So we can see types of drives, we can see how it's presented out. If we've got any snapshots, we can also see things like pools configured. And the really nice feature on the pools is that we can see a forecast of the capacity and when it's likely to be full. So here, this graph will give us a forecast of when the capacity is likely to be full. And this particular one it's saying it's going to be full greater than a year's time. So anything under that, and we'll start to see exactly when it's going to be full. That will give us notifications and let us know what's the suggested action to take against that. So you may need to add some drives. The last part I'm going to show you here is the system performance. Okay, so this will give us, for an individual array, a whole bunch of charts and information about what's happening on the array. Once it loads, okay, so the very first graph here, you'll notice there's we have some grey areas. These areas are basically, they call it historical seasonality, but what it is it's the normal activity of your array at that point in time. So if I scroll down to the next graph, we can see we've got something called anomalies in here. And that's where the activity of the array goes outside that, that normal activity. And what's a really nice feature is if I see I've got some anomalies, then I can actually highlight that area on the graph. And on the left, just give it a second to update, it will show me what's affecting that. So I can see here, there's a number of things, and I can start to drill down and have a look at those items in detail and see what's happening and why I've got an anomaly there. Okay, and I can start to take action against that. So that's a really nice feature. And the very last thing I want to show quickly is the actual settings for each individual user. So when you log into Cloud IQ, you have an option to set what arrays or what devices you want to actually see in your interface. So I could say I only want to see Connectrix, for instance, and take Unity and PowerMax off. I could then choose the individual units that are relevant to me, and I would only see in my user interface those items. Something else I can do is set email preferences, so it will email you notifications, and you'll get a daily or weekly email if you choose, and you can choose again which systems you're going to get reports on. So that's a really nice function because individual users might have different things that actually relate to them, and they might not need to see everything that's reporting back to Cloud IQ. So that's a really quick sort of whistle-stop tour of XT and Cloud IQ. You know, if there's anybody that wants to see more on any particular areas, then we can certainly look at doing that. But for now, I'm going to hand back to Steve.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Nick. Again, like a lot of these demos, we're only sort of scratching the surface. So there's a lot more that we can do. And the sort of call to action for us today is that if anyone is interested in doing more of a deep dive on anything we've discussed, then please highlight that in the poll at the end. So, opportunity now to take some questions. You can that we can pass to Nick. You can ask these anonymously. So don't be shy. Feel free. Like I say, if you want a separate session, we can do that. So, Nick, a couple to start off with. One from question around implementation from David. How easy is it to implement, because the website's claiming 15 minutes? How realistic is that?
To be honest, it is easy to implement. It's easy to get up and running. Absolutely. I'm not sure exactly what kind of sort of level of install they're talking about around the 15 minutes. But what I would say is that I think it was ESG came up with a figure of about 25 minutes to install and have it fully operational. So yeah, whatever way you look at it, it is quick to implement. Certainly to get up and running to the point where you're ready to start putting data on that array. And for personal experience, yeah, I can say that it is very quick to implement.
Okay, cool. Question from Ruth in relation to how the EMC Unity solutions position. So what sort of organisation would typically benefit from implementing Unity XT, Nick?
Any really, from small right up to enterprise. I mean, it's very scalable.
Yeah.
You know, as I mentioned earlier, it scales up on the 880 to 1500 drives. So yes, it would suit small, medium, and enterprise clients. So it'll fit exactly where you want it to.
Okay, good. A question from Jane in relation to the cloud capabilities. You've mentioned AWS, Azure, but what about things like like Google and the emerging ones like Alibaba? How does it fit with those, Nick?
So currently, and this is subject to change as we move forward, but currently the supported public clouds would be AWS, Azure, Google is supported, and they also support VMware on AWS. Alibaba, no at the moment. Will they support it? I honestly don't know, but potentially they may.
Okay. So that's for the future then, really, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, question from Ian in relation to the 5-to-1 data reduction. What level of reduction would you typically expect to see, and is there any sort of guarantee on that, Nick?
So yeah, EMC did quote up to 5-to-1 data reduction. There certainly are customers that are getting that. How realistic is it for everybody? Well, it depends really on workloads. But what I would say is that Dell quote an average of 3-to-1, and they actually guarantee the 3-to-1 with their future-proof loyalty program on the all-flash arrays. So you're probably going to be looking at somewhere near that 3-to-1 figure than the 5-to-1, but 5-to-1 certainly is achievable. As I say, it really comes down at the end of the day to the type of workloads that you're going to run on the array.
Okay. I think this might be the final question from Alex. As an organisation, why would I choose all flash versus a hybrid array?
So normally that would come down to a required performance. Basically, if you require high-end performance across your array for all of your data, then you're going to be looking at flash. Having said that, you know, there are, with the hybrid, for instance, if you've got a smaller hot or data set, you know, and you have an amount of data that doesn't need to be on flash, then hybrid certainly would be a good fit. But one thing to remember with the all flash arrays is that they do have the advanced dedupe and data reduction, and that means that you end up having a smaller footprint, and sometimes that can actually be more cost effective than a larger hybrid option, because you're storing more data on less disk, and you get also associated savings, you know, around the data center cooling power, etc. So it's not always the case, but don't rule out all flash. Have a look at it, because sometimes the all flash option will work out more cost effective than a hybrid.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair point. Okay, well, I think that's all the questions, Nick. Thanks for letting us put you on the spot there. If anyone else does have any more questions, then please get in touch with your account manager here at Servium, or drop me an email. So what I'd like to do now is just launch the poll. It's always important that we get feedback, and I'll just do that while I'm summarising and closing the session. So if everyone wouldn't mind having a look at the poll. Also, if you're interested in a deeper dive, then please highlight that in the poll as well. So that's a sort of a wrap, really, from season 2, and just really want to sort of summarise, close for the benefit of everyone watching today. We have got our Servium Tech Wars event on the 19th of December. So that's the Star Wars premiere of The Rise of Skywalker. We're hosting that at the View in Leicester Square. We still have places available, so if you want to register, then just go to our webpage, our landing page, and you'll be able to register there. We're hosting that in partnership with the likes of HP, VMware, Poly, Zoom, but also we've got some industry insights from Canalys as well. So if you've not registered, then please go to our webpage and do so. So again, thank you everyone for taking the time to attend. This is the end of season 2. In total now, we've had 24 INOOT webinars over season 1 and season 2, with approaching 200 attendees. So thank you to everyone who has taken the time to attend. Hopefully you've found it of benefit. We'll have more industry insights and more technologies, more trends, and so on to talk about next year. So season 3 is on the horizon. We'll be kicking that off the start of February 2020. Like I say, with some new, innovative, and topical content. So keep your eyes peeled for that via our INOOT hub. As I said, the recording of this today will be shared later on. Feel free to share that with your colleagues. It's also on our YouTube channel. Lots more content there. So again, I encourage you to go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So thank you for taking the time. Thanks for everyone who's doing the poll. I think all it's for me now is just to wish everyone from me and everyone at Servium, wishing you a very Merry Christmas, a happy, healthy and prosperous in 2020. We'll see you on the next INOOT. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Friday, everyone. Thank you very much for attending.